Hello, everyone. Rebecca here. I'm coming at you for our Module 7. So first, I'm going to take a look at my instructional unit that I did. I had a few friends look over my classroom. Unfortunately, because I had to use Google Classroom that was associated with a personal email and not my work email for this, my students' school emails will not let them join an outside domain, such as like a Gmail, Google Classroom. It has to maintain within my school, and I did not feel comfortable with asking my students to use personal emails, also because some of them don't have them. So I did, though, have them use some tools that I presented in my lesson to review, and then I had some peers and some coworkers go in and take a look at my unit and kind of give me some feedback, as well as kind of play around on the course. So first, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can view and answer some of these questions for our learning walk and to show about my unit. Okay. Okay, so first, taking a look at my Google Classroom that was created, I chose to use my ELA class and to make an ELA class that was online. Currently, my school is not virtual. We are in person for our academics, and I modeled my schedule that I posted in my Google Classroom based off of what our schedule was like working where I currently do now when we were virtual. Students always had a live class session that was on Zoom, and then as well as time for students to complete work independently. So I did include that in my classroom, and that is how I planned when looking at some of my work. So taking a look at my classwork, you will see that the material has work that they are doing during their independent work sessions. So during their class, on the class materials and tools that are posted will be available for them as well. Also, if you are teaching live, like on like if I would use Zoom, Zoom has an option to record. I could record the lesson, and then once that lesson is recorded and they're in their independent work time, I could always post the live lesson that was recorded as well as any other tools that I would use in the classroom. Here I have under week 1, I have schedule and contact information. This is also posted on my homepage. So for example, taking a look at this ELA class and then also at this schedule, this is very similar to what my one schedule looked like last year when I was 100% virtual. So students had a live class that was usually an hour to 45 minutes to an hour long, as well as then a work period where they were working on independent practices as well, and the teachers had their Zoom room open. So that's how I modeled my classroom for this. So whatever was taught in their live session would then they would do independent practice during that ELA student work period, as well as the Zoom room open for help as well. And here you'll see that it has ELA and math, since that is what I currently teach. Also looking here, I have my contact information, my name, my number for work, email, and then also my Zoom room information that would be posted. That way all students can see. Within my classroom, I incorporated different types of activities as well as daily check-ins. So looking at Monday, you'll see discussion topics where students can answer about how they feel about some of their study habits, ways they prepare, and some test taking strategies, since this whole unit is working with strategies for test taking and to improve reading comprehension. So kind of getting to know the students through questions, and they can answer, and then their peers can comment back if they agree, if they disagree, if they use some of the same items. On Tuesday for some independent practice, after we I did a pre-assessment on that Monday, asking them a question to rate themselves. How are they feeling? And you can see I have one turned in so far from one of my peers. the question was, how comfortable do you feel with using test taking strategies? And it was just quick 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then, kind of checking in, where's their mindset? How are they feeling about this? And then re-asking this question later during the week after we've had practice and instruction for a few days. So you'll see that on Friday with where it ends with the end of week assessment. For the pre-assessment, like I said, it was hard. I could not have my actual students do this and join the class to kind of take that and see, because of them needing to use their personal emails and not feeling comfortable with that, because that would require also parent communication and approval. But you'll see I did have them. I was able to post that assessment though in one of my what I use right now, which is Schoology, so I could get their feedback and their responses. And taking a look, I can see, gotta find the tab, sorry. I can see their assessment. So I had my ELA kids that were here the other day. I had 2 kids absent out of my 7, so I only had 5, and I had all 5 of them completed, and I had them take my pre-assessment. I can search this then, since I did a Google form. I can look at the data based on summary, question, and individual. Though looking at this, one thing I would revise is that when I looked at my scores at the end, I realized it didn't give me their email address from where the response came from or who the response was. So I would make sure to add that in here, or have the form collect an email address so I knew which student was with which work. That's one of the adjustments that I would have made for this. Showing different ways of assessment is also important. And during the class, I have different examples that they can do together, as well as an independent work. So for example, one of my live materials that I have that we are working on looks exactly like some of their practices that they are doing independently. That's the way it is familiar to them. Also with using virtual materials such as Google Classroom, Google Slides. For students that do have issues with typing or writing, you can use voice to text to animate and put answers in as well. It makes it a lot easier for that as well. And for my readers that do struggle, we have a few different tools that are on Google that will snap and read certain sections for them, which is a great benefit as well. So looking at my classroom overall, knowing that I have a live component and then also an independent component when teaching virtually with where I currently work, I kind of modeled my classroom after that. If this course was 100% online, I definitely tweaked several different things, as well as being a little bit more specific about what they are doing. And part of the expectation with having an online classroom is that they kind of know the routine. So if they know they're having a live session, then an independent work session, and they're completing the items that are in there, and they all have directions, it's a very smooth flow for that. So definitely thinking and taking that into consideration, that if I ever do a course that is fully asynchronous, making sure that the expectations are posted for that as well. I do have my Zoom expectations posted here as a reminder, since this week is right back after the new year, but having those Zoom expectations as a reminder, as well as having classroom expectations as well. I would also probably do a little bit different type of assessments. Usually with my normal assignments I do kind of a variety. This one, I do say I did only usually use a Google form, just because it is the easiest, especially for this test prep unit that is in my curriculum guide to use. Kind of developing a little bit other ways to assess them. It was nice that it was on a Google, I could do it as a Google form and not just paper and pencil. And the form was a lot easier to navigate than having it on several different Google slides as well. I know that some of my kids accidentally, when they're on their Google slide, will delete something that's not supposed to be deleted, and then they miss credit or part of the assignment, versus that Google slide where they can't delete anything. It's the material's there. There's no way for error in a way. When my students did take the pre-assessment, some of them did like having it online versus pen and paper. They've definitely become more used to online. Also, with being online and with this pre-assessment, it was all multiple choice. They didn't have to write anything or type anything. So they definitely gave me props on that. Now, not everything can always be multiple choice, but they definitely like that as well. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this kind of turned out. I used Google Classroom a few years ago when it was kind of new to my school when we switched to Google Suites for everybody. But recently I've been doing Schoology, so I've been kind of used to that. But I definitely still like Google Classroom. It's very easy to move and follow. Overall, I'm happy with this. I just would do a few little tweaks with some different assessments, and depending on if the whole thing was asynchronous versus synchronous or some combination of them. But thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day. And if you are looking through my Google Classroom, feel free to look. I have a bunch of different tools, resources, and videos as well. And one of the items that I use a lot of videos from is Khan Academy, which is one of the OERs that that I talked about last week. And I have a lot of videos, such as weekly video tools and resources. I have a lot of them that connect that I would use for teaching, as well as a resource that the students can do on their own when they need questions or need a little bit of a reminder for completing work. So thanks everyone, and have a great day. I look forward to watching some of your videos as well. Bye.